Hey everyone, and welcome back to Graham's Family Farm. Today we're getting ready to build some new pens. We showed y'all before where the storms had taken out our cheap peacock pen. We'd gotten them off Amazon and they just didn't hold up. They seemed really nice at first, but they just can't handle the winds and the weather that we have. So it is time to build them something more permanent. We initially were not going to build permanent pens here so we could move them around, but we figured this was the best way to go this time. I know what you're thinking. We still haven't finished the chicken coop, but we have a big surprise that we're going to show you on that. We're just having to wait till it comes in because it's really neat. We can't wait to share that with you. So since we're waiting on that, we figured we'd go ahead and get started on this because it's a beautiful day out. And if you stick around to the end, we got a neat little surprise and something you're really going to want to see because it is something new that we've never had before. Cutest things ever.
They really are.
So stick around to see that. But we're fixing to get started. We're building this on a slope. I'm not going to change that up because I don't want to do a bunch of dirt work. Plus, it'll help water runoff. It may just have to make us do some modifications for squaring up and whatnot, but we're going to make it work. We're fixing to get everything set up to start squaring up the pen, and then hopefully we can start digging post holes. The one that goes on the tractor we have is tore apart right now, so I've got a gas-powered one. If we can dig through these rocks and stuff with it, we'll start with that and start setting poles. If not, we'll have to wait until we can get the other one put back together and start digging holes in. But we can at least get it set up and squared and kind of laid out how we want it. So this is what we're doing. We're pretty much going to square these off or set them in relation to the chicken coop and chicken run that we already built. We're going to make a 12-foot alleyway so that we can mow, bush hog, and all that real easily. And we're going to come about 15 feet off of the fence to make sure we got plenty of room to mow and do stuff right there and make sure the cows don't try to reach through if they're on that side. So we've got our 12-foot measured off the string that's lined up with the coop. And then we're going to come off the fence right here.
Just remember, I'm a foot out.
Yeah, I know. Okay, perfect. No, that's good.
Okay.
I mean, close enough for what we're doing.
Okay.
Okay, so initially what we're going to do is we're just going to set these posts about where the corner is going to be. It may change slightly, but that'll get us pretty close so that we're in relation to all this other mess. And then we're going to move down and do that with the other corner. You can just let that lay there. Yeah. And then if you'll come down here, we're going to come off this string. Okay, so now that we have that, what we're going to do, I don't even know what these are called. I guess framing corners, squaring corners. Not really sure. That's what we're going to call them though. But what we're going to do is basically make an L around these two corners we put in with boards so that we can use it to square up.
And yesterday, Kevin and the girls came over here and cleaned this whole area up. It looks so nice. Got all that old stuff picked up and
If you'll put that at the base of that post there.
Okay.
Did we decide to go 28 or 30? What did we decide?
That was up to you.
I'm good with either.
Okay, if you're good with either, then just do, I'd say just the 20 then, or
28?
28, yeah.
Okay, so now take it to that corner over here and we'll see if we can get 28. 29. Now if you want to go back to that one real quick.
Okay.
Let's see if we're close. As long as we're close, we'll
go with that.
Fine tune it in with the other. Okay, that'll be good enough to do what we gotta do.
Okay. At least this is before the big slope.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not near as sloped as what I thought.
Yeah, I was picturing that it was.
Which I may. There's that little hump and dip here. I may actually try to fix that up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to start putting in nails for our strings. Can you go measure off of that again?
Yeah.
Now hold that because we're going to check again. Okay, so now let's go over to this fence.
Okay.
Come out 15 feet. Hang on, you're going to have to hold it and I'm going to have to pull. Good?
Yep. So you want to measure from that nail to this nail?
This nail over here. So this should be at 29, right?
Yeah.
You'll measure from that front nail. So now we can pull these stakes up and start stretching string.
Okay. Now we get to start the dreaded squaring up process. Which maybe it won't be too bad.
Psh, crazy. Crazy if you think this ain't gonna be bad.
One can always hope.
One can be delusional too. This is gonna be a lot of work, I figure. That's why I'd rather just do boards, because then you can just shift it until it works.
Oh yeah.
String, you just gotta imagine like it is a box.
Yeah.
And take out half your adjustment on 2 strings.
Maybe it'll just go easy today. On to the other side.
Yep, we're fixing to find out if we're smart enough to figure this out, if we're going to have to call in reinforcements.
So hopefully we can just get it done.
Hopefully. I mean, we're on the right track. Where a lot of people mess up is just trying to place their actual corners instead of stretching out past it.
Oh yeah.
Because then your corner might be right, but once you get ready to start setting it, you got to take down your corners, and then you just no longer have your guide.
Yeah.
This would be a lot easier with 2 tape measures. But we don't have any of those stretch out that far, so I gotta have your help.
Yep.
We're first gonna measure and make sure that our corners are the right lengths.
Okay.
So put it right on the corner of that, the inside corner. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, 31. So go down, you can go to that corner. We'll make sure that this is 29.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll go straight down and do the same thing over there.
Okay.
Pythagorean theorem would be 28 squared plus 900 roughly 41 feet diagonal.
Okay.
Roughly.
So let me stay here?
Yeah.
Okay.
For this one. Okay, so when we measured, we were like 1 foot 5.5 inches off square. And this is the shorter side, so to make this side longer, we're going to split that number in half, which would be 8 3/4 inches, and we're going to shift this string to the right to make this longer, and we have to do the exact same thing for that one to the right to make it shorter. And by splitting the numbers in half, they should come out to be the same after that. And then we just got to measure and make sure all of our lengths are the same size.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we got bigger problems. Okay, we're fixing to check square on this one more time. I had to go get the Sawzall because we had to make so many adjustments. I had to cut the tops of these stakes off so that I could move the string over far enough, because I kind of messed up. And I checked, and like 41 feet should have been square, the measurement, the hypotenuse for the measurement. But so in my head I was thinking 41, but I forgot we were cheating a foot for the tape measure because the end's broken. It's just easier to get exact lined up that way. And so we weren't as bad off initially as what I thought, but we did have to make a few adjustments, and we're fixing to see if it worked out.
Hopefully so.
Because we checked all of our side measurements, and we still have 30 foot this way and 28 foot that way. So it's just a matter of, got it?
Yep.
So like this is 42 and a quarter.
Okay.
Which the other thing we have going for us is this is running gradually at a little bit of a slope, so that could affect it some.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna. Got it?
Yeah.
42 and a quarter.
Yay.
Let's check it one more time, the other way.
Okay.
Just to make sure, because it's hard to believe that it's finally there.
It takes time. I mean, but as big as this is, it doesn't need to be off. All right.
We're good. Okay, so now that we have it, let me roll this up and then we'll kind of give a rundown of what's going on here. Okay, so this is what we've got. We've got a 30 feet wide by 28 feet deep area. We're going to set up posts through here, and this is actually going to be divided out into 3 pens. We're going to have 3 10-foot wide runs that are going to go 20 foot deep, and then on the back of each of those is going to be an 8-foot by 10-foot like house or enclosure. That's going to be 3 sides for the peacocks to get into so they can get out of the weather. We're going to make the sides 6 foot tall, and we'll either go straight across or we may end up building a thing so we can do a peak so that they have a little bit more room. I don't know that we actually need that, because looking at the chicken run that's 6 foot tall, I think that's going to be plenty for them, because they'll still have room to get up in a roost. Now their house will be 8 foot tall on the high side because it's going to have a slanted roof. So it'll be 8 foot tall and go down to 6 foot, I think, on the back. So they'll have a little bit more height than there. We're going to do similar to the chicken coop for it. It's going to be out of the cedar boards, but I think we're going to run those vertical around it instead of horizontal to line those out. But we're building them in a block like this so that the divider walls, we only have to do 1 wall between each pen instead of having to do 4 walls for each pen. It'll be essentially doing 3.
Yeah, and that saves on cost, and I don't know, it just
saves on cost and space, because otherwise we would just have a dead space alley in here, and we don't need that.
Yeah.
So this block is going to do that, and then we'll probably do something similar for the chickens later on down the road. But peacocks are the main thing because they need a spot. Because right now we've got them in a temporary pen because theirs completely fell apart. But this should work out good for them. We're fixing to go dig out the post hole diggers and possibly get started with all that.
Yep, gotta get some water too because it is hot, hot, hot.
Yes. Okay, we're going to try to dig these holes with this. I'm not sure if it'll work up here on this rocky ground because I know anytime we've tried to dig anything up here, it's been rough. So we'll try this. If this doesn't work, then we're just going to have to put this project off until we get the tractor one put back together. Okay, let's see if this thing will work.
Well,
hit a rock, but
yeah,
we'll put these back up and make sure they hit right. If not, we'll just dig it out with hand diggers.
Yeah, it moved a little bit, I could see, but
yeah, it looked like it shifted over, but yeah, it's a little too far. We'll make it work though.
Still beats having to dig the entire thing by hand.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll go ahead and set up and try to get all 4 corners dug. Then we may go get the poles for that.
Okay.
Concrete them in. Then we can use them as a guide for the rest.
Okay.
Okay, it's the outside one.
Okay.
And the only one.
I got this. These are the reason that is so difficult.
Yeah.
The soil is just so rocky, and apparently we hit the jackpot on rocky soil right here. So, all right. So since we kept having issues with the rocks there, plus with the way that corner is for that, where that post is going to be, it kind of runs into where those boards are. He's going to have to finish digging this one out by hand, which is not necessarily the most fun, because it's a lot of work, especially when all these rocks are involved. Because the problem is that it kicked over to the side some. Oh wow, that's a big one. That's what was hanging it up the worst. Sounds like a big rock there. Goodness. Yeah, that's a lot to fill up with concrete now. Well, let's hope this one's better. It dug better, I remember that. It's a little closer to being right. So gas-powered auger. I mean, it dug the initial hole, but then you got to go back and fix it, so. It's a catch-22.
What I did is I cut a little bit of rebar. I'm just going to stick a hole through each of these posts, a little bit up from the bottom, and drop a piece of rebar. And what that does, it gives something for the concrete to stick to so that your pole won't just pull out of the concrete. So it just gives it a little bit more strength. Moment of truth.
Is it gonna work?
Fixing to find out if these holes are in the right spot or not.
All right, I'll come help.
Yeah, you just gotta have it lined up with the strings and also level. So I need to go quite a bit. Here, if you'll hold that, I'm just gonna shave a little bit off the side because we gotta kick the bottom out some.
Okay. At least it's just little bits here and there at this point. At this point, usually. Right there's good.
Okay.
And then right there's good.
Yeah. So hold this and don't let it move. Still as a statue. You have to hold steady because it'll put some weight on it whenever I go to dump that. And don't breathe.
Our bubble's still in the lines. Miraculously, even though I felt like I was moving the whole time.
Oh, you are. Will you hand me that gray steak right there?
Yep.
Just do this, kind of poke holes in that and let it work down in there. Okay, so yeah, we'll just, that's good. That'll soak in, and then we'll go to the next one and see how that goes.
Okay. Yeah, right in there is good right here.
This one's good.
Okay.
So just hold that still.
That was horrible.
As you flop all over the place.
It's still wound up decent on the last one, though. I don't have the steadiest hands for holding posts.
Okay. You good?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the thing about this is if you put in all the hard work at the beginning, it's easier as you go.
Yeah.
What I'll probably do once we get the four corners done, I'll just run the strings around those, pull up these L's, and then since those are squared, everything will just work off of that.
Yeah.
Because that's what's actually going to be there when we're done. All right, so we've got a good start on the peacock house. We've got the four corners set. We need to let them set up because I want to tie the strings off to them to set the other post. That way, this is already squared up and we know that it'll be in line because that's what we're going to be building off of rather than using the framing L's or whatever you want to call them, because there's always a chance that they might pull or something like that, and I don't want to take a chance on doing that since it's going to be a few days before we can get back on this. Like I said, we both have to work tomorrow, so it may be Thursday, and if not, then it'll probably be the weekend before we can get started back on it. But we got 8 more poles to set, and then it'll be time to actually start building the thing, and that's what I'm ready to get going, because I am ready to see it.
Yeah, it'll be nice to actually have it completed and be able to move them into a bigger space of their own. That way it's not just a makeshift pen, because I'm so tired of the makeshift pens. They've been helpful. I'm glad we've had them, but now it's time to move on and have more permanent stuff.
Yeah, we're slowly getting out of all that. We've got, well, whenever we get the other chickens in here and then the peacocks moved, I mean, everything will be in
permanent pens.
Permanent pens. We'll still have to build some more for the other chicks that we have that we're raising up, but that's still going to be a while.
Yeah.
So we've got time for that. We just want to get the peacocks in their new house first, because they are the ones who've been waiting the longest.
Yeah, and with those long, beautiful tail feathers, they need some space to stretch out.
Plus, I like that we're going to be able to put them in breeding pairs, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to just put a male and a female in each pen, and then the last pen we'll either get another female to have a third pair, or we'll just use it kind of as a grow out pen for when we have small peacocks that we raise up to sell. They'll need a place to grow up, and that'll give them a good spot to do it. But since we got this to a stopping point, we can't really do anything else on this right now. We're going to go ahead and show you what new babies we have.
Yeah, it's super exciting because this is something we weren't sure was actually going to happen.
Correct. Never before seen on this farm.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody has been wondering, did any of our peacock eggs hatch? And this is your answer. Now, our first round did not. We didn't have very good luck. But the second round, these little guys were ready to bust out. They actually hatched a little earlier than we actually anticipated, and they are doing really, really well.
Yeah, the first round we had one that hatched, but there was something wrong with him. We could tell he just wasn't right, and he only lasted a few hours and passed away. But the second round, they actually were not supposed to be. They're supposed to go on lockdown on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever I opened it up to put them on lockdown, I saw a cracked egg, and I was like, "What in this world?" Then we saw two cracked eggs, and it just so happened they hatched out on the rack. They were 4 days early,
Yeah.
and so we had a few other eggs that were supposed to go on lockdown with them. We went ahead and checked them. Only one of them looked like it might be viable, but it never did hatch out. We still left it in because it still got, I think, one more day.
Mm-hmm. Possibility.
Yeah, one more day is whenever they were supposed to hatch, so we're gonna leave it in there for a couple more days and see. But these guys were early; they were ready to get out, see the world, and aren't they neat?
And they are doing really good too. They have been up and moving and just all around this little pen. So
Yeah, they kind of look. I don't know. They kind of remind me kind of like a baby turkey almost.
yeah,
But
they do.
definitely peacocks though. So hopefully we'll have a lot more too.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
I'm just glad that these two are healthy. They've been jumping around, getting around real good, eating and drinking well. So
Mm-hmm.
super excited to finally have some baby peacocks. We've got probably 12 or 15 more eggs in the incubator, and we're still getting an egg about every other day, maybe sometimes two eggs every other day. So we're still constantly filling it. We save them up for a week, and then we put them in and let them go, and hopefully we'll get some more because this will be nice for the peacocks to actually start paying their way.
Yes, for sure.
Yep.
But they're really, really cute, and like I said, they're doing really fabulous. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, and as they get a little bit bigger, we'll work on getting them another spot. But right now, we just got them in the little tub so they can stay away from everything else and keep safe and warm in here.
Got chickens trying to escape over here.
Yep, and a lot of y'all have asked, how is Bosco doing? So here's Bosco and his little buddy.
What's his buddy's name?
His buddy's name is Pepper.
Oh.
And he's black.
Pepper just tried to escape. If I moved the camera a minute ago, that's why. But yeah, Bosco, look at his little top hat. It's so cute.
Yeah, but he's doing well.
He's
He's a feisty little thing too.
He really is. Yeah, he definitely was ruling the roost. But they are in here in a tub by themselves again. Because everything else is a little bit either too small or too big for him. So, but he and Pepper get along so well that they're just going to stay together.
Yeah, and they're kind of, I don't know if it's panting or hassle. I don't know what you call it when a chicken's doing it, but they got their mouth open a little bit because it got a little bit warm in here today. But we've got the thing opened up to cool it off, so they're doing better now. But it was super hot today, and so we're gonna have to start watching that because we've not had that issue so far this year. So maybe we have to start cracking a window.
Yeah, we've got one with a screen that we can make sure we open, and that way nothing can get in and like get to them. But it'll at least provide a breeze for them. All right, this pen over here, it's kind of funny, little funny story. We had filmed some of putting the eggs in the incubator, and it just never made it to the video. So these guys, surprise, are black copper morans and jubilees. We only have 2 jubilees, and you can tell they're starting to get their pretty little wing colors. It's really gorgeous. But we actually hatched out a bunch of these black copper morans. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't remember how many actually hatched. We put 24 eggs in, and I think 13 or 14 actually hatched out.
Which is pretty good with some of the other stuff. But yeah, they're getting around really good too. And the jubilees were just a little bit smaller than some of the other ones that we had. But
bigger than these.
They're still bigger than these, but they are very docile too, so we figured it wasn't a problem to put them in here with these guys. And they've been getting along really well, not causing any issues with each other, so I think that was a good decision.
And it's feeding time for them. Since there's more in there, they eat their feed a little bit quicker than what the other ones do. They still have some in there, but we refill their jars every day.
Yep. Yeah, we were actually the girls were in the middle of doing chores whenever we came out here to show you guys all this stuff, because it's that time of the afternoon. All right, and these little things are Izzy's. So she's going to tell you a little bit about them and where she got them.
So these are my old English bantams. They're really sweet, and we got them at an auction.
Oh, yep, super sweet.
Yep,
Yeah.
she bought 10 of them.
Yep, 10 old English bantams.
I filled this up in the morning, and they already ate most of it.
Wow, they're hungry little things.
I just filled up their water.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to do their evening feeding, and it'll be fine. But yeah, they're really, really cute. It was funny because as soon as they came to the table and she heard Old English Bantam, I don't know, something just clicked, and she's like, "That's what I want."
Yep, so she spent her money to get them.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of her little chicken operation.
Yep. So, are you happy with that purchase?
Yeah.
Yeah. She checks on them all throughout the day.
Yeah, first thing in the morning and last thing in the afternoon.
Yep. We got an escape artist behind me.
Yep.
But yeah, these guys are 5 weeks old, is what we were told. And they seem to be adjusting really, really well. We did turn out this heat lamp earlier because they were getting pretty hot, but I mean, they're over there clumped together now, which partly because we're on this end, but
yeah, I mean, they're still got
they're
their
still
mouths
panting
up,
a
so
little
they're
bit.
not cold. It's just that they're
Yeah,
trying to get away.
yeah, but they're doing well, and they're gonna be little birds, so
Yeah, we're fixing to be building them something so that they can be outside but still protected.
yeah.
This is the one that looks like an eagle.
Uh-huh.
Like, he looks like a baby eagle.
Yep, looks like a baby eagle.
My two favorites is this one. She's
Mm-hmm.
really pretty.
Yeah.
She already. This one is my second.
Yep. I love the color on
You're not
those.
supposed to have favorites. You're supposed to love them all the same.
But yeah, so stay tuned to watch these guys grow up, because I bet we'll have some really pretty colors in here whenever these are fully grown out.
Even if they are different birds, I really don't care because they're all really pretty.
Yep, that's the truth. But now we're going to take you outside and show you what else we have done, because we've moved a lot of stuff around since we had those peacocks and then got these new babies. All right, so Abby made a purchase at the auction too, or a few purchases technically. But you want to tell them what you bought? Kiki Rikis. These two big ones are both roosters, but they are really, really beautiful, and she couldn't decide which one she liked the best. And you don't see a lot of them come through either, so she really, really wanted to get both of them. So we did.
They're 8 months old.
8 months old, and look how tiny they are.
And they both have names.
And tell us their names.
So this is Miguel.
That's Miguel.
And my favorite one, Alfalfa.
Yep. Alfalfa, she likes to cuddle with, so. Yeah. And
these aren't Rikis.
nope, those are not Kiki Rikis.
Those are Saramas.
Yeah, those are Saramas. They came through also, but they are also a smaller breed of chicken and can be crossed with Kiki Riki. So we decided to jump on that as well, since we have a bunch of roosters, or 2 roosters now. We don't know what Bosco is. But that way we hopefully will have some options there for breeding purposes.
And we don't know if these ones are boys or girls.
Nope.
I think they advertise them as pullets, but I don't
so.
know for sure.
Yeah, they don't have very big combs, so hopefully not, but they're still so young it's hard to say. I don't remember how old these were either. I don't think they said how
No,
old
they
these were.
didn't.
But we did move them outside, and it's been warmer, so they haven't needed a heat lamp. We've been checking on them. They've been doing just fine out here, and they actually seem to really love it on this grass.
Yeah, what we did is we modified the old chicken tractors we had and actually put a floor in part of them, because what the problem was before is if we had a heavy rain or stuff, they would get wet. So now they have a platform they can get out of the water, and so we can actually put smaller chicks in here, smaller birds, and they'll be okay. They're definitely messy, though.
Yeah.
And check out this pink feeder.
Isn't it
It's
cute?
one of a kind, the only one we have, and Diane gave it to us at the expo whenever we saw her, so we're really thankful for that, and we put it to good use.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's so pretty.
Yep. Abby was excited that her chickens got a pink feeder.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah, they've done really well on, transitioning over to being outside. So definitely, I think was a good choice to move them out here.
Yeah, in this spot, there's not a whole lot of grass here. They've only been here for 2 days, but the grass was really tall, and it was like the vetch stuff, because this was back behind where the peacocks were, but their pen, whenever it collapsed, we took it down, cleaned all this up. So there wasn't just a ton of grass here, but we've got it where we can move them up and give them fresh grass as they go. But they're, as small as they are, they don't eat just a whole lot of grass, and they're mostly just eating the feed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hands.
yeah. Yep, he eats out of her hand.
Yeah. Super duper cute.
Oh, they do too.
Oh.
All of them do. They've had feeding there all day, but since it's in your hand, it's better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Louie's coming around.
Yeah, Louie's checking them out.
Yeah. Little bobcat.
Louie, they're not snacks.
Okay, and so these are the chicks that we hatched out. Still haven't fed them yet or watered them. They still have water, but their feed, this side is 8. Most of those, they still got some scattered around. But we decided to put those outside and let them do that. We modified this tractor to actually put a divider in the middle so we could put 2 different kinds and kind of split them up. They're not going to stay in here very long. It was just kind of a transitional thing so we could get them out of the other bins, because with it being split in half, there's quite a few in here, but I mean, they still got lots of room to move around.
Oh, yeah.
But on this side over here, we have the chocolates, blues, blacks, and splashes.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side's the lavenders. And yes, there are a bunch of lavenders over there because Izzy decided that she liked bantams better than lavenders, so I did like any good dad would do and bought her out. So I now have double the lavenders that I started with, and she got her money back to pay toward her new ones. So
Yep.
we're going to let these grow out. Like I said, we'll probably move this one. Probably have to move it quicker than what we moved the other one just because there's less in it. But it's working pretty good. They've adjusted well to being outside, because that's the main thing, is just getting them out of the shed in those little bins and as they grow. We did have to buy some more waters. I have never seen this before, heard of it, but Tractor Supply, the only waters they had were glow-in-the-dark ones. Now, why in the world do you need a glow-in-the-dark water? But they were $3 more than what a standard one would be, but they didn't have any standard ones in stock, so we had to have them, so I ended up having to pay more for them. But I didn't actually come out here last night to see how they looked, but
Yeah.
we may have to do that. And then when Izzy saw them, she had to get a feeder and water for hers for when they move outside, but she still hasn't paid me yet.
Oh.
Yep. You owe me. I know, you're always good about paying. Usually,
Both of y'all are.
like, she, as soon as she gets something, she's like, ready then. I'm like, no, just wait till we get home. She's like, but I got the money now. And I'm like, no, she doesn't like having debt. So that's good as long as she sticks that way, because she pays her bills off quick.
Yep.
But yeah, so super excited about these. Like I said, the lavenders are pretty sure are true to what they're supposed to be. These we're just going to kind of play it out by ear and see what happens. Like I said, there's some blues in there you can see for sure, some splashes, some chocolates, but they're very feisty little things.
They really are. Yeah, they kept trying to jump out of the other tubs too. That was another reason we had to move them. It's
Yes.
just because they kept trying to fly every time you opened
every
it.
time you try to take care of them, they try to fly out of there. So I was like, we've got to do something a little bit taller and bigger.
Yep. Yeah, they are all over the place though, and I'm really glad that they're all doing so well.
Yeah.
And y'all have made a huge mess with y'all's feed too. Good grief, guys.
Yeah. Which I only put a little bit of feed in there last
Uh-huh.
night because I wasn't sure how much they were going to waste it, which those wasted a bunch. But
Yeah.
these cleaned it up pretty good, so I'll probably go ahead and fill it up today.
Yeah.
So even though it was super hot today, we got a lot accomplished. Getting the corner post set up for the new pen. The biggest part was getting it squared up and dealing with all those stinking rocks digging those holes. But hopefully the tractor digger will be ready to go whenever we do the rest of them, and it will go a little bit easier. But if it bounces off, we're going to be in the same boat that we're in now. And we're super excited about all the new animals we have and the fact that we have baby peacocks. Can't wait to watch them grow up. They're super healthy. Like I said, they're a few days, I guess 2 days old now.
Yeah, something like that.
So 2 or 3 days old. So they're doing really well, and can't wait till they get a little bit bigger, and then we'll be putting them up for sale too. So they can find new homes and move on there. But if you've made it this far, we have a little secret for you, or I guess a little snippet of what to watch for next time. As y'all know, we sent in for some tests on the heifers, and the results are in. You'll have to wait to find out what they are, to see if it was good, bad, or meh. But we will have that on the next video, so stick around to see that, and we hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Grounds Family Farm. Bye.
Bye. Peace. Bye.
Bye, guys.